Good day. My name is Teed Burns. I'm a National Accounts Coordinator for Federated Insurance, and I've been asked to give my opinions here. So in regards to developing an insurance program for your franchisees, the first thing that I feel strongly about is that you look to engage an expert in the business, in the insurance side of your industry. And so ideally it would be one that has a national reach so that they can look to ultimately service your franchisees as your franchise grows. This expert can work with you to design coverages ultimately that you feel comfortable with and provide you advice and recommendations for your franchisees' insurance programs. And this ultimately will help ensure that your franchisees are properly covered while also covering your franchise's reputational risk. Social media, one of the effects that we've seen is that an issue that can occur at one location can have a significant impact on the entire franchise. And so it's quite important that you look to put a consistent program in place to try to minimize the potential for something like that happening. Now, as I mentioned, it is worth understanding that a consistent insurance program is best for both you and your franchisees. For your franchisees, what it does is it presents a quick and simple solution to a complicated problem. They are just getting their business up and running and ultimately may not have the expertise in terms of programming the coverages or broker as to what they need for coverages. So what that can do is in essence prompt them as to what they need for the correct coverages so that they can make a very simple and easy decision. Not to mention there can be premium savings being part of a program for an individual franchise, for a franchise versus being an individual franchisee that maybe goes to their personal alliance broker and tries to get proper coverage through them. Now, for yourself, having a program presents the advantage of having consistency and peace of mind in that you likely don't have the time, the energy, or the expertise to every year ensure that your franchisees are properly insured. That would require getting a copy of their insurance every year and going through it to make sure that it's all correct. Some people might feel that would be overkill, but again, if you have a location that has an issue and they're not properly insured, that can impact the entire franchise. So it's definitely worth doing. In terms of specifics, the one thing that I might recommend is that you look to maximize the liability coverage for yourself and for the franchisees. The reason that I say this is if there is a shortfall in property coverage, that's unfortunate, but likely isn't going to put a business out of business. However, if somebody gets sued for an amount past their liability limit, not only could it bankrupt their business, but it can also flow into affecting their personal assets and ultimately not a pretty picture for anybody. And then lastly, I would say that you may want to look to try to get some reporting on the program back from the insurer on a regular basis. The reason that that's important is you can look to see, okay, well, who is having losses on the program? And those might be franchisees that ultimately you think that, might need a little bit more support or a little bit more direction, a little bit more clarity as to how they should be operating their location and that sort of thing. Because what we've seen time and time again is when there's a series of small claims, it oftentimes can lead to a significant claim. And as I've said a few times already, a significant claim isn't going to be good for that business owner, for your franchise owner, and definitely isn't going to, for your franchisee, I should say, and ultimately isn't going to be good for your franchise as a whole. So it's a complicated question. However, with the right individual giving you the right advice, it can make it a lot simpler for you. Thank you very much.